Coming up on Bloom, we're talking all things parenting in the first ever Bloom edition of Maggie and the Moms.
We do see
You have
increasing,
kids, you see it.
right? We do see this increasing in kids. How can you not escape it, judging yourself against others? It just puts that all on our face more. So it needs to be controlled. And aside from the mental health side, we need to be able to protect our children too.
And ways for busy parents to squeeze in exercise. Plus, easy summer crafts to keep the kids entertained. We'll have all that and more as Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, starts now. I'm Maggie Rodriguez. Welcome to Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging. Gayle is off today, but you'll see her later on in some previously recorded segments. Typically, you see me on our sister show, Daytime, where my Maggie and the Moms segments are a big part of our show. Today here on Bloom, we're giving you a taste of Maggie and the Moms, where our motto and our mission is to celebrate but never sugarcoat parenting. Take a look.
Part of self-love and self-care, you got to have time for yourself so that you can be your best for your husband and for your kids. And if you're burnt out and you never get a break for yourself, I don't think you're going to present in the best light, right? So I think absolutely.
And I find, like, on those days where I could tell my mood is just sour, salty, I'm like, it's because I need to just disconnect. I don't want to be this person to you, or I don't want to feel this way. And those are the moments when I think, and it doesn't have to be a whole day that you go away like on a vacation by yourself, but go and do something. Go for a walk, go for a workout, right?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Actually, I just shared a TikTok. I had a sleepover at my friend's house. And it was very lovely.
Wait, what? A grown-up sleepover?
Yes, I had a grown-up sleepover. I felt that I needed to get away. Sorry, guys, that I'm admitting this. But I felt like I needed to get away. I texted my friend. She didn't have her kids that weekend. My friends are wonderful. And she did everything from plan the itinerary. We had dinner. We went to morning yoga. She even made us green juices before bed. It was lovely, and then I was refreshed, like you said. My cup was full, and I was ready to go back into mom mode. I totally agree. Yes, we do deserve time away.
And hashtag mom sleepovers. Like, let's make
Yes,
that
I know,
so
right?
fun.
I love it.
Welcome to a Bloom edition of Maggie and the Moms, where we've got a moms panel assembled and ready to talk parenting. And of course, we've included a medical expert. Jennifer Boyd is a physician assistant who founded House Calls for Kids, a pediatric urgent care that makes house calls. She's also a mother of 2. Stephanie Rodriguez-Neely has 5 kids. She is the founder of the Tampa Bay Moms Group, a networking and events resource for local moms. And Karima Henry, a mother of 2, who shares fun and easy craft ideas on crafting a fun life. And yes, I did have to go 5 kids because that's a lot of kids, woman.
It is. Sometimes it's more than that because we foster, so it's at least 5, sometimes more.
All right, so you know that she knows what she's talking about. But for this first topic, I really would like to seek your expertise, because the huge headline this week was about the warning labels that the Surgeon General has proposed for social media. Tobacco-like warning labels sought for social media by U.S. Surgeon General. Many variations of that same headline all week long. And not only that story, but we saw other stories where states are starting to find ways to keep social media away from kids as long as possible. We talked about this earlier on Daytime in Maggie and the Moms, but I want to know what an expert in the medical field thinks about this, the health effects of social media on children.
You know, it's hard to deny that there is any mental health issues associated with social media. And I think that they try to spin it, social media, I mean, saying, well, there's no proof. There aren't a lot of research data out there that proves that there's a direct correlation. But we do see
If
increasing,
you have kids, you see it.
right? We do see this increasing in kids. How can you not escape it, judging yourself against others? It just puts that all on our face more. So it needs to be controlled. And aside from the mental health side, we need to be able to protect our children too, because they don't understand who's out there, you know, with this, who they're exposed to. We are opening up their worlds to a lot more people this way. So
when you hand them this phone, when you hand them social media, it's, I believe, a weapon.
It is, but here's the thing. The people that understand that it's a weapon are already taking precautions because you and I know. So we're monitoring. We know what apps our kids are on. We know their logins. I think having a warning is great, but we already know the facts about social media. If you have children, you see the impact it has on their lives. the people that are going to regard the warning and do something about it are already doing something about it. So I don't think it's going to be very effective in creating a change. I don't think it's a bad thing to have, but I mean, it's the same on cigarettes. You know what cigarettes do. There's a warning. People are going to do it anyway.
Yeah. But I do find, I don't understand, like if you're the person who from the beginning uses common sense and says, this can't be good for my kid, and you realize it early on, but you see all these other people continue to be okay with it. I feel like sometimes it takes a lot of people talking about it a lot, your eyes continually being opened in different ways to finally come around and say, oh, now I get it. Like Karima, by the time your boys get to the age of social media, maybe by then
there'll be some changes.
Because it's hard when you're the only mom who thinks that way. But if every mom is suddenly like on board, it becomes like a community thing, and then your kid doesn't feel like the only one.
Yeah, they don't feel left out. There's already things now that my kids are like, oh my gosh, why can't I do this? Because even if you control that situation, they go to school, they're around their friends, they have access to things that your kids may not, so that kind of is hard.
Yes,
and you don't want your child to feel left out, but you have to find a way to protect them and be the bad guy, I guess you would
But I
say.
think it's about the parent involvement. You just have to make sure that your kids understand, I'm involved in your social media use, I have restrictions, these are you know, the rules, because this is what I'm doing to keep you safe.
That's what it's about.
And I love your point. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
That you don't know what they're exposed to at other people's houses too. And I recently saw this movement to It's Okay to Ask, encouraging moms to ask other moms about what sort of access they have at their house before play dates or sleepovers or things like that, which I thought was great. Just a great way to keep this conversation going.
I love it. All right, we're going to spin the wheel on Maggie and the Moms. If you watch, you know that we have our little handy dandy wheel of mom topics, ladies. We look there, it spins and spins, and wherever it stops, that's what we'll discuss. Ooh, we're taking a mom quiz. All right, I asked you to prepare for this in case this came up, because would you quiz us?
Yes, absolutely.
These are things that a pediatrician knows, but we as moms may or may not know. So let's do a true or false. We have Lily, who's going to hand us our paddles that we like to use, and Ellie. Thank you so much. All right, so she's going to prompt us, and we'll say if we think it's true or it's false, and test our knowledge.
Keeping some summer stuff in here for fun.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Please do.
All right, so first one is applying ice to a burn is the first thing that you should do to help alleviate the burning and pain. Okay, good job. Actually, false. You never want to put
She's always
ice
right. She has 5 kids, though.
directly on a burn. And the reason being, it can actually be more damaging to the tissue.
So you never want to put ice on it?
No ice, just run it under
Lukewarm
cool
water.
Oh,
yeah.
no. Okay, next one.
All right, next one. When you have a nosebleed, you want to make sure you pinch and lean back so that you can help it stop.
Oh, again, we're divided.
Okay, it's false.
What?
She's always right.
I used to get so many nosebleeds.
Forward, yeah.
So no wonder it never
forward.
stopped. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And you
I've
don't
been
want
doing this
that
parenting thing
And
all along.
quick tip, once you get to where it's manageable, a tampon is your best bet to plug it.
She
was
went
a
there
tampon.
because she goes there, and we love her for it. It makes sense when you think about
Yeah,
it.
perfect fit, absorbs great.
Excellent, love that. Okay, next question is, okay, to clean a wound, you want to get hydrogen peroxide or alcohol to make sure you get all the bacteria out of there. Okay, false.
You know what, though? You say it so convincingly.
I know.
Are you a medical doctor?
We are failing over
No, but my kids have had a lot of injuries.
Okay, so
Hydrogen
why?
peroxide is good.
Yeah,
not yet.
no, and because it kills everything, including good stuff and good bacteria. So you don't want to just soapy water. That's it.
I have literally been doing everything wrong. All right, another one. I want to get one right.
Okay, one more. Let's see
I
here.
feel too much pressure.
Okay, sparklers are a great way for toddlers and kids to enjoy
Thank you
fireworks.
for that
We all
one.
know.
Thank you
Yeah, that was
very
easy.
much.
Yes.
That
All
was
right,
a pity
thank
question.
you. That
for
was
me.
you.
For us,
It was
Karima.
for us.
That was a pity
I'm
question.
so glad you guys all got this right because sparklers, how hot do they burn? 2,000 degrees. So this is not a safe way for
All right.
kids to celebrate 4th of July.
All right, give us more.
I got more.
Yeah,
more.
give us
Okay,
another
great.
one. It's fun. This is
All
fun.
right, next one, stingray injuries. All right, the first thing you want to do is put that foot, like say you get stuck by a barb from a stingray. Put your foot in hot water.
Oh, I have no idea.
This is more common than you think. And actually, that is true.
True?
By
Wow.
putting
That's
it
what I
in
meant.
I didn't know
hot
that one.
water, like a bucket, like say you're at the beach.
Yeah.
A lot of times they have that stuff ready to go, or a restaurant. It will take the pain right away because it kind of pulls the venom out.
I heard
good.
warm water.
Yeah.
I've never heard hot though.
Yeah, same.
Would,
you
does
know,
hot work better than warm?
Yes,
And-
but
and-
not like burning hot.
And
No.
for a jellyfish thing, what you hear a lot. So what is the thing to do? I'm not saying it, but I want you to
that
say
was
it.
actually on here too, that you should urinate on a jellyfish sting to make it go away.
You
the
should what?
pain. No, you should not urinate.
You should not urinate.
on a jellyfish.
So what I was told with, okay, I've been stung by a jellyfish and we got really creative. It's again the warm water, the same thing. The
Yep,
warm water is
exactly.
what alleviates it. So it's
Yeah,
the
just-
temperature of the urine,
Yes.
not the
Right.
urine itself.
Boom.
Yes, you can
Yeah.
rinse it with
There's a
regular
story.
She's
salt,
coming for your
regular
job.
No,
seawater.
there's a story there we'll
All right.
save.
All right, we'll say because we gotta go to break, but don't worry because we've got a lot more parenting to cover. So stick around. We'll be back with more Bloom and Maggie and the moms.
You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.
Welcome back to a Bloom edition of Maggie and the Moms, where we celebrate but never sugarcoat parenting. Our panel is back to keep talking all things kids and family. And since we have our health expert on the panel, and we've been having so much fun with her, we've got a question. It will make some of our viewers gasp, because when I first saw it in this article, I went, so here's the headline. I love to borrow from the headlines. How bad is it to borrow my partner's toothbrush from time to time? Self Magazine did a whole article about this, and I love it that they say not is it bad, but how bad is it?
It's bad.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
let's
we
hear from
all,
the professional.
I think we all know that this is bad.
Yes.
And that's just because we have different types of bacteria and germs in our mouths, and do you really want to swap new bacteria with each other? And the same thing applies with kids, because they don't necessarily have the bacteria that you have in your mouth. So if you give it to them, you've now put that in there, increases risk of cavities and other things. So
Is anybody in
share
the world
toothbrushes.
doing this? Like, why was there a need
No.
to write an article? Does this
I'm not.
happen in some houses? Like, I thought, oh, maybe some couples do that.
It's so easy to get free toothbrushes now. I mean, you can
really
literally go
is.
to any dentist and they will actually give you toothbrushes. Any type of with a medical theme will get you a free toothbrush. Honestly, if you need a free toothbrush and you have to use your partner's, call me. I will get you a free toothbrush. I promise you. Hygiene, dental hygiene is so important. Like, do not share toothbrushes. It's not worth it.
Drink after my husband.
I know,
let
I
alone
don't even
share
like to
it too.
drink.
Right,
out of
I agree.
We'll kiss them, but we won't drink out of their cup or use it anyway.
How long are you married?
Fair.
Long time
That's a
ago.
fair
She's had
point.
a lot
Fair
kissing.
point. All right, but dental hygiene is important, and for kids especially, that can be a challenge. Like
Yeah.
you have to remind some
Oh,
kids
yeah.
more than others, did you brush your teeth?
Yeah.
Help
I know.
us. What do we
It's
do?
so tricky. So think about the different ages, right? So when we have little ones who just running away from you and making it difficult to brush their teeth. Well, you don't have to stand in front of the sink. You can have them laying on the floor and you're by their head and you're brushing their teeth upside down as one way to make it fun. My daughter recently learned about using a brushing timer that she pulled out of a game set.
That's a good one.
And so she runs the timer and brushes her teeth, and she learned that from a friend, and that sort of like gets her excited
Getting
about
them
it
engaged,
now.
having them pick out their toothbrush, their toothpaste, their flavored mouthwash, like so they're excited to use the things that they picked out. That kind of my son one has a Baby Yoda, the other one has Minecraft.
Cute.
And it gets them excited to brush.
All right, we have about 2 minutes. I'm going to try to get one wheel spin in because you know what? It's fun, and I think we can do it.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Let's see what comes up in our wheel of mom topics. And right now we're going to talk, a scenario. What would you do in this scenario, ladies? Let's think of one. All right. So somebody comes up to you and like comments on your parenting in public. Like they did something, you did something they didn't like. Is it okay to comment on a stranger's parenting tactics? Karima.
No, unless it affects your child. That's how I see it. Or if there's like a dangerous situation, but you have to be careful because there's so much happening that people may take it as a threat and it turns into a big thing. You can make a note. If the child's in danger, I would just call 911, but I would never approach another parent to, make, hey, I don't like the way you're doing, your child, I would just call 911 if it's
Mind
a
your own
dangerous
motherhood.
situation. Yeah.
I tell people, I've had people comment on how I was wearing a baby in a carrier where I was literally trained to teach other people how to use the carrier properly, and they wanted to correct me. So I said, mind your own motherhood, and I kind of go by that unless there's a situation, like you said, where there's danger involved.
Your philosophy?
I think that's tough. Everybody's trying to be helpful, right? Even if you don't need it. So I would suggest same thing. If there's a dangerous situation, then certainly you need to step in to help out.
And there's a way to do it properly without offending.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right. Consensus. I agree as well. Thank you so much, ladies. This was so much fun. It never feels like enough time, but we wanted to give you a taste, and we're going to share all of this with you on bloomtampabay.com. And we invite you to tune into Daytime every Monday at 10 a.m. for Maggie and the Moms, where we celebrate but never sugarcoat parenting. We have a lot of fun on this segment, and hopefully you learned something because we're all just doing the best we can. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today. Welcome back. June is World Infertility Month, and Co-Fertility is out with its State of Egg Freezing 2024 Trends and Insights. And it shows demand for egg freezing is soaring with a 30% year-over-year increase in cycles. This report reflects changing priorities and greater acceptance of the procedure. Joining me now to discuss is fertility coach and author of her Infertility Success Series, Erica Hoke, and board-certified reproductive endocrinologist, Dr. Celso Silva. It is so great to see the both of you.
Thank you, Gayle.
Thank you, Gayle, for having us.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Silva, let's start with you. Talk to me about fertility preservation and egg freezing and why you think, as a doctor who's so experienced in this, that it's soaring in demand.
Yeah. Gayle, this is a great question. We are experiencing over the last several decades a societal change where women now are postponed childbearing for several years before they started their families. There are a variety of reasons for that. But in reality, biology has not followed that societal change. A woman cannot continue with her ability to reproduce as she's getting older. Fertility preservation is a way for a woman to be able to maintain that ability to reproduce, even though she's not ready to start her family just yet.
And I know that this is something that you talk to a lot of your clients about because you coach women dealing with fertility issues, and you even see the trends.
Absolutely. And what I would suggest is that couples create a fertility plan, that they map out if they want to delay their childbearing experience and their years, that they create a plan together, and they look sooner rather than later, especially if the women have things that are already going on. They have irregular cycles, they have other reproductive concerns, that they go ahead and get that testing ahead of time, and then they have a plan in place, and then they have the choice of being able to freeze their eggs versus being on the back side of it like we have been operating for like Dr. Silva said, forever. And then they have some choices to make.
Yeah, and this is about being proactive with your chances of conceiving. Dr. Silva, what is the procedure like?
Yeah, so there are a variety of different reasons why women decide to pursue fertility preservation. I think two big distinctions is elective fertility preservation versus what we call oncofertility. Oncofertility are for women who are experiencing cancers, and due to the cancer treatment that may affect their reproductive function, they decided to freeze their eggs. Whereas elective fertility preservation are for those women who plan to start a family one day, but they're not ready to do that. And egg freezing is one of the options for fertility preservation. In a kind of general terms, you give these women hormonal therapy that will stimulate their ovaries to prepare several eggs to ovulate in the particular months where you're doing the procedure. And once these eggs are ready, they undergo a simple procedure that is called an egg retrieval, by which you can aspirate the eggs from the ovaries and subsequently cryopreserve or freeze them.
And then how long do you have then to use these eggs?
Well, I think that would be probably a question for Dr. Silva.
Yeah.
But
theoretically, Gayle, once the eggs are cryopreserved, if you maintain them in an adequate temperature and environment, they can be cryopreserved forever. Now, of course, we do not have a very long-term follow-up. Fertility preservation is something that started, a few years ago. But from a theoretical point of view, once they are frozen, a patient can come back 5, 10, 15, 20 years later, and those eggs will remain with the same developmental capacity that they had at the time of the freezing.
Now, I've talked to women that have frozen their eggs or had fertility issues. They had eggs, preserved, and then when they were ready for a second or third child, they went back to those very eggs that were already there.
Right. It gives them choices. That's what we're talking about. Choices to time when they have their children, and choices to preserve the quality of their eggs, which we know degrade as you age and also lessen in number. And so it really is just about creating a plan and also not making assumptions about your fertility. As you mentioned, some women in the book were in their 20s and they were experiencing infertility, and I think that those kind of stories coming out really are shedding light on the fact that if you want children, you might have to do some work up front to preserve your fertility.
At what age would you say, doctor, that it starts to really become more increasingly difficult to conceive for a woman, and that if she's going to wait to that point, she might want to consider freezing her eggs now?
Yeah. So we use a term that is called ovarian reserve, which explains the number and quality of eggs that a woman still has in her ovaries. This ovarian reserve starts to decline from the time a woman was born, accelerates a little bit more at the time of puberty, and then at around the age of 35 is when we see a much more kind of faster decline. And again, in general terms, if a woman reaches the ages of 35, she plans to start a family at some point, but she's not yet ready to do so, that's when we feel she should start to consider proceeding with fertility preservation.
Okay, but because again, I mean, society has changed, and if you want to get ahead in life, a lot of times you got to work, get your career going, and save up a nest egg of sorts to be able to even afford kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about the 35 as the cutoff. I was not able to get pregnant at 35 and was told that I need donor eggs and that I had low ovarian reserve. But I did, in fact, not need donor eggs, did not use reproductive medicine, and was still able to get pregnant. So this is not an all or nothing situation for women, but it does give you more choices.
Well, I appreciate you, Dr. Silva. It's always a pleasure to see you. I know you drive up from the Sarasota area, so we appreciate your time and attention to this. And Erica, it's always such a pleasure to see you. If you're not familiar with her series of books, you should check them out. She's helped so many women and couples conceive. We're going to share everything you need to know about this on bloomtampabay.com, and we will be back with more Bloom right after this.
Welcome back. Summer is a time to relax, sleep in, and hang out with friends, or at least that's what every teen wants to do. But parents, it's important to show your kids how to strike a balance so that they don't waste the summer away. Here with help is teen life coach Desiree Panlilio. Welcome, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
A pleasure. I'm going to ask you the first question as if I were my teen son. What is the matter with wasting the summer away? Isn't that what it's for?
Well, you know what? There are some benefits to wasting this part of the summer away. You should get to sleep in. You should get to have some time with your friends. But also, what do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish this summer? What if there was one thing you could improve on or work on? What would it be? That's what I'd want to ask my son, my teenager. What's that one thing? Not 10 things, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. What's that one thing you want to work on?
And why would you say that it's a good idea to set a goal and find, let's say, one thing or a couple of things that you want to work on in the summer?
You know what? Otherwise, they're just going to sleep in, do video gaming, look on TikTok, scroll social media. They're going to do nothing. And then come the fall, wow, you're going to have to restructure them, get them back into a routine. They're not going to have goals. And it's harder to motivate people when they're not motivated. So you want to motivate your teen. It's not like you're going to ask them to do a lot, but what's that one thing you want to do? Or what's that two things you want to do? Or as a family, pick something. Do a family, family reading. It's a great time to everyone to read a book, talk about it, watch a movie, talk about it, do anything, cook together, do something. Make them responsible for preparing a meal or preparing an outing. Make them engage, make them use those critical thinking skills and those planning skills and time management over the summer.
Because summer is the perfect time. You have free time. You don't have to go to the million practices. You don't have to juggle school and homework. Take advantage of the opportunity. For instance, last night, my daughter says, Mom, I'm making dinner tonight. She's 19.
Right.
And I was so surprised, but so grateful, because she's trying to find ways to become better at things and to learn things in the summer. I'm like, bravo, Daniela.
I know. Did you say, this is amazing? Thank you so much for taking this off my plate. It was such a relief to come home and have it taken care of. Way to go. You're building her self-confidence. You're building her self-esteem. She's learning the skill of cooking before, you know, she goes off to college or moves out on her own. She's learning all that, and she's, you know, going, hey, look at me, look at me being that adult, and shifting from being the person that's being taken care of to the person that I'm now giving care. What a huge shift that we make as we enter the adult world, to give care, not just receive it.
Right, and in her case, I could see how that's going to be something incredible, something transformative for her. In the case of a younger child who maybe doesn't have that motivation, who needs a little bit more of a push, what can we say?
It's a group project, right? If they wanted to make dinner, or they want to go, you know, I want to learn how to paint, go buy some painting or craft supplies at Michael's, go buy a whole pile of those canvases and let them do it. You know, say that's enough of the social media, that's enough of gaming, do something else, read a book, draw. It doesn't matter what it is, something that they can do that's age appropriate, and engage them, ask them how they felt. And if they go, well, I painted and it was horrible, or versus they painted and they spent the next 3 hours creating this masterpiece, encourage it and go, okay, that's amazing. Don't force them to, well, I bought these painting supplies, you're going to paint every day to you know, to hating it, versus look at this masterpiece, and maybe you'll spark something. Maybe you'll spark a new hobby and interest, but they learn patience, they learn perseverance, they learn resilience in sticking to something.
And it feels so good, and at the end of the summer, they're going to be like, look what I did.
Exactly, and they don't have to share it. It's just their own personal growth and that building of their self-confidence in an easy, fun way for them over the summer, which is what we really want to have that opportunity for our teens to do at any time.
Agree. Thank you so much, Desiree.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. And we're going to post Desiree's advice on bloomtampabay.com, so check it out there. And when we come back, the Happy Healthy Human Coach is joining us with ways for busy parents to stay in shape. But first, it's time for today's Bloom trivia question. Why were baby cages, which are beds suspended from windows, invented in the early 1900s? Just for fun, to combat the spread of tuberculosis, or to keep babies from escaping? We'll have the answer later on Bloom.
You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging. We begin where your checkup ends. Call now, 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.
Welcome back. Busy parents need to get their workout in, and believe it or not, it's easy to do at home. Here with ways to squeeze in a good workout is the Happy Healthy Human Coach and personal trainer, Michelle Cuff. It's so nice to see you, Michelle.
I am so excited to be here with you today.
Thank you. Me too, because you always have such good advice. I watch you and Gayle.
Oh, thank you.
And you really help me a lot. This is a topic I think a lot of parents will relate to. How do I squeeze it in?
Yes, and parents, whether you are a working parent, whether you're a stay-at-home parent, the time is the issue, right? We're so busy with our kids in our lives. So what I wanted to talk to you about is called timed workouts, and I have used these with my clients, and you can get a lot in a short amount of time with this.
That's the name of the game.
That's the name of the game. If they're taking a nap or something and you only got 15 minutes, I got you here.
All right, so we see these acronyms.
Yes, so the first one is called an AMRAP, which stands for as many rounds as possible. So that would mean set your timer, 10, 15 minutes, maybe you pick 3 exercises. You're going to keep going with all 3, as many rounds as you can get in those 10 minutes.
Okay.
And you push yourself.
Got it. The next one, EMOM, every minute on the minute. What does that mean?
EMOM, every minute on the minute. So again, let's say you've got 10 minutes to work out. So you're going to pick maybe 2 exercises. Let's say you got 10 burpees, 10 kettlebell swings. You're going to get them done in that minute. Let's say you get it done in 40 seconds. You're going to rest for the next 20, but when the minute starts again, you have to go again. You're going to keep going.
And the last one is like intervals, right?
Yep, this one is a really known good one. It's called Tabata, and it is 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. So you would only pick 1 exercise. You're going to do that 8 times, which comes out to 4 minutes. Then you'll take a minute, breathe, do it again. If you do like 4 rounds of that, it comes out to like 20 minutes, and it's a really good exercise. Now, what I brought here today is 2 easy pieces of equipment that you can get on Amazon or at the store. A kettlebell and a medicine ball. You can do so many things with this. And if you type in your phone on YouTube, let's say you type in kettlebell and AMRAP, you're going to get hundreds of exercises.
All right, can we start with the kettlebell?
Yep. So we're going to start with the kettlebell. I'm going to show you.
I do this. This is what my husband has me do every morning.
Well, see, that's a good one because I didn't pick that one, but that one's good. All right, so we're going to flip this guy upside down.
All right.
This is called a thruster. So this is going to get your legs and your shoulders. You're going to squat, and as you come up, press.
Oh, I
and
love
let that
it.
head come through.
And this works what?
This works everything. Let's do 3 more. This is going to work your legs, your glutes, your shoulders. And last one.
Love it.
Boom. All right. So that's going to get everything, even your core. So we're going to do the classic kettlebell swing.
Yep.
So your feet are hip width apart. This is a hip exercise. So you think it's arms, but you want to swing this thing with your hips. So you're going to swing it through your legs to your eye level. All right, so I want you to think about swinging with your hips, thrusting those hips forward, and then all of a sudden that kettlebell is not going to feel so heavy.
Amazing. I am loving this.
Couple more. I love the kettlebell swing. This will get your heart rate up. It works everything.
Woo, love
Great
that
job.
one. All right.
All right, for your back. Now we're going to row this guy. So one leg comes back. You're going to kind of rest your arm on your knee, and you're going to pull this up. So this is going to get your lat just down and just like you're rowing.
This is amazing.
So you would get,
you feel it working right away.
Tuck that core in tight. Let's get the other side real quick. Same thing right there. Boom. Pulling, and you're getting both sides. Your back has big muscles.
Awesome.
All right, and then my last one with the kettlebell. So this is going to be a front raise. Grab it like this. We're just coming straight out. Just your arms, Maggie.
Okay.
Just to that eye level.
Ooh, yeah.
This is going to get the front of your shoulders.
Bird. Woo.
Abs in tight, and you're working your core.
All right, we have less than a minute. Show me one with this, because
less than a minute. All right,
super cool looking.
So with this, we're going to do an ab. So we're going to get in front of it. We're going to get in a plank. So I want you just to get up like this. Once you're up, if you can, knee in and alternate.
Woo! Look at that. Thank you, Michelle. This is incredible. And now I can't breathe.
All right.
But it's good.
And then if we can get one more, maybe?
We can't. We're out of time. But you can follow along this workout by going to bloomtampabay.com. We'll be back. All right, let's do one. Welcome back to Bloom. What does it take to become a world-class entertainer and professional escape artist? Well, our next guest says it happened to him by accident. You've probably seen him before gracing numerous talent shows, including America's Got Talent, using his illusion, hypnosis, and escape artistry skills. Danny Paulin, also known as Danny Z's, is an advocate for getting out of your comfort zone and not allowing fear to stop you. That's one of the themes in his new book. It's called Beyond Impossible: Life Lessons from a Professional Escape Artist. And Danny joins us now to tell us more. Welcome. It's nice to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here. It's a wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
I am dying to know how someone becomes an escape artist by accident.
Yeah, it was by accident, actually. I was very proud to be performing in Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. For 7 years, we did 2 shows a day, 7 days a week. And on the anniversary of Harry Houdini having been in the Falls, I was asked if I would like to perform an escape to represent the anniversary of that time. And I'd never done it before, so of course I said yes. And a few days later, I was hanging from my feet from a helicopter in Niagara Falls in a straitjacket, and I managed to escape, and I guess that makes me an escape artist. And from that point on, the phone rang and people asked me to do more, and I kind of became an escape artist by accident.
That's incredible. And you must have done it all and learned a lot along the way. I know that's a main theme in your book, the highs and the lows. What do you hope people will take from your book?
You know what? I would like people to recognize that we are here for a short time, and you got to maximize every day. You got to look for what's wonderful about today, and you got to do it. I recognize you shouldn't be in a burning box hanging from a crane, but at the end of the day, when it's time to put your head down, you got to look at how you got the most out of today. That's really the most important thing we should all look at. Our time is short.
And I know that you have learned that lesson the hard way in your life. You overcame a devastating motorcycle accident. You lost your son.
Yes.
So one of your life mottos, because of everything that you've been through, is appreciate everything.
Yeah, it's very easy under both of those circumstances to stay at home and really wallow in self-pity. I don't think anybody would begrudge me for experiencing that. An accident or the loss of your child is both devastating. So I think that we all deal with tragedy in different ways and hardships, and it's how you look at it. And I can't say I always looked at it positively, but I learned to. And that's what I'd really like people to understand, is I'd really like you to understand that if you don't grieve the loss, but celebrate the time that you had, you don't look at the accident, but look at the freedoms that it gave you. My accident, although very horrible, introduced me back to my family. I was so busy with work that I was spending less time with my children, and I fell in love with my wife and my children again. So sometimes an accident is really an opportunity.
I admire your outlook, and I thank you for sharing your lessons here with us and in your book. Since you're here, would you also please share some of your magic with us?
Yes. Can I do a trick for you?
Please do a couple.
Can I do something for you? Listen, I'm going to do something that I think is ridiculous. This is just a standard dinner fork. Everybody
Which you
has
happen to have
some.
in your pocket.
I brought it just in case I was asked. What I want you to do is I want you to take that fork and squeeze it between your pointer finger and thumb very tightly and rotate the bottom of the fork. You see, the tighter you squeeze it and the faster you rotate it, the hotter it gets. It's basic principles of friction.
Okay.
Once you feel it getting hot, this is what I want you to do. I just want you to do this.
I think I'm doing it wrong.
Just this. Once it's hot, give it a twist, and you should be able to twist it like a corkscrew. You can see right here, there's just a little twist.
What?
Give it a twist.
Mine's not twisting like yours.
Just give it a twist. You want me to try something easier for you?
Nada.
If you take the fork and you go like this, it should soften in your fingertips. If you tip it even slightly, it should slowly start to melt. Just like this.
No
this
way.
is hot and sharp. It's for you. Okay? Let me try it with your fork.
Super cool.
If I go like this, I should be able to make it melt one tine at a time. You can see it just slowly starts to melt one tine.
Okay, I was thinking he has a special
No,
fork.
listen, let me do it like this. I
but
can just make
here's
it swing.
proof.
It just melts like that on the end of my finger. Just as can you put your hand out flat just like this? I just want you to squeeze this nice and tight, and I'm just going to give it a quick twist, and it should actually twist in your hand.
No way.
The power of the subconscious mind.
That is so amazing.
Something brilliant.
What a fun dad. Your kids at home.
I don't
must be
know if
like,
they
Dad,
think it's so fun.
Dad, do the fork thing again.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun. And again, I appreciate you sharing so candidly and also taking time to entertain us.
Thank you for having me. It's a wonderful opportunity. I appreciate meeting you.
It was a pleasure. And we'll share this story on BloomTampaBay.com. And we'll be back with more Bloom right after this. Welcome back to Bloom. One of the biggest challenges for us parents over the summer months is finding ways to keep our kids busy and entertained without electronics. Joining us now to show us some fun and easy craft ideas is blogger Karima Henry with Crafting a Fun Life. Welcome back. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
You're the queen of this.
Yes.
The queen of the crafts. And this is exactly what we need, because trying to pull your kid away from electronics in the summer is like almost impossible.
Very hard. I have two boys, 9 and 5, and it's a struggle, but I see the difference when they're not on their electronics. So let's get the kids off their electronics and do something else.
All right, how? Show us.
We are going to make a sun craft today. You know, sunny Florida.
Perfect for summer.
Yes, and we're just, all you need is some paper, scissors, and a free template from my website.
Okay.
That's it.
Perfect.
Simple.
You got us covered, and everybody has the paper and the glue. So, all right, we're ready.
So we got started early with our sunglasses on our son.
Very cute.
Super cute. And then we're going to fold strips of yellow paper in half and then glue the tips together.
And that's how you make the rays.
Yes.
It's really smart that you put the template for the sunglasses and the smile on your website, because I'd be like making some messed up sunglasses on my own.
If not, you can use like a black marker to draw your face on if you have like older kids that want to be a little bit more creative. and then you're just going to attach it to the back of the sun.
But it's better to have your kids, I think, use those kid scissors and it's, you know, the fine motor skills, the fun of it.
Exactly, especially if you have little kids going into kindergarten.
Yeah.
You have to work on that during the summer.
Love it.
There you go. And then when you're finished.
So it starts off like a bunny, a super cool bunny, but eventually you keep adding
Yes,
ways and it turns into a beautiful sun. All right, I love that one. All right, what's our next one?
Next one is it's an ice cream cone. Like, it's summertime, of course we're gonna have ice cream, but this one does not melt.
Nice, nice.
So we're just gonna glue the top together with the cone using the glue stick, of course.
Oh, look how pretty. All right, so we're gluing.
Yes, using plenty of glue this summer.
You know, I still have glue sticks and construction paper from when my kids were little. They're now 14 and 19.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure the sticks are dry. Maybe not. I don't know.
They probably are.
But the construction paper, like, you never run out of construction paper.
No, not at all. And if you're going to birthday parties this summer, save those tissue paper. There's so many fun crafts you can make with it, including this ice cream craft.
That is really good. So you just do what with it?
You can tear it, or you can use safety scissors to cut the pieces.
Oh,
yeah.
Just tear.
So
Go on a tear, kids.
Especially for those
mess up
small
the
little
house.
hands. Mess up your house, not mine.
Well, no, mess up the house and then force them to clean it up.
That is
Clean
true.
up their own mess.
So you're just going to cover it. You can let your kids decide what color they want to use, depending on the flavor of the ice cream.
How do you get it? Because I saw that cute one you have there looks like a waffle cone. How do you get it to look like that?
So I use a 3D paint for that effect, but you can also use markers or crayons instead.
I love it. And the more steps you add to it, Karima, the longer longer you keep your kids busy, which I like.
Exactly. So if you don't want to print off the cone, you go on a little scavenger hunt to find like a triangular shape in your house.
Oh, I love that
and
idea.
time the kids, time them. They will love that.
So find a triangular shape and then draw it.
Yes.
And
then, turn it into a little challenge.
See, you've got all the tricks. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And we're going to share all of these craft ideas on bloomtampabay.com and follow her at Crafting a Fun Life. We'll be right back. Don't go away. It's time for today's Bloom Trivia question. Why were baby cages, which are beds suspended from windows, invented in the early 1900s? Just for fun, to combat the spread of tuberculosis, or to keep babies from escaping? The answer is to combat the spread of tuberculosis. According to research, baby cages, which were initially called health cages, were invented to give babies fresh air and sunshine. Many believe that ventilation and open air were key in fighting the tuberculosis epidemic, which inspired the creation of these cages. I've really enjoyed hosting Bloom today and wanted to let you know that you can watch Farron and me weekday mornings at 10 a.m. on Daytime right here on WFLA News Channel 8. And of course, we hope that you'll tune in to Bloom again. Coming up on the next Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, how to keep your pups cool during the dog days of summer, and top summer skincare tips for a healthy glow. So stay healthy, everyone, and we'll see you on the next Bloom.
Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.